Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my guide to Malikah's Well, a level 77 dungeon in the Shadowbringers main scenario. If you're watching this and it's your first time doing the dungeon as part of the main scenario, try using the trust system instead. This allows you to do the dungeon with NPCs from the story and experience the dungeon authentically without a guide. Otherwise, let's get started. This dungeon is, as usual, broken up into 3 bosses with trash in between. To skip to a specific boss, please use the timestamps in the description. Honestly, most of the trash in this dungeon really isn't noteworthy. The only thing really worth mentioning is the golems towards the end, which gradually activate as you fight them, but they're so easy to kill before they activate, and even if they do, they're not really threatening at that point. So I'm just going to do each boss sequentially and forego talking about trash in between. The first boss is the Great Armadillo. Wonder if he does holidays. He is a tank buster called Stone Flail. On top of hitting the tank hard with this, it drops a few AoEs around the room that the party needs to avoid. His main mechanic is Head Toss, a split damage AoE that throws the orb on his tail at the party for split damage. After this, the boss will use Right Round, jumping towards his orb to pick it up before doing a point blank AoE. So stack up for the damage, then get away from the boss on his orb. After this, he does a proximity AoE from the center of the room, before doing a donut AoE and several smaller AoEs you need to avoid. If you're doing this with trusts, expect them to get hit by a few AoEs here. Other than that, the boss summons a couple of adds that you should quickly kill off. They try to perform a room-wide AoE that can be interrupted, but they die so quick you'll probably not see this cast anyway. Just repeat this a few times and you'll be good to go. The second boss is Amphibious Talos. He's buckets of fun. A Face is the boss's tank buster, but other than that, he only has one attack pattern. He will walk to the center of the room and perform Well Bore, a giant point-blank AoE. After avoiding this, 4 water spouts will rise up and persist through his next few attacks. High Pressure knocks players back, so either use knockback immunity or aim yourself in a direction away from the spouts. Once you're knocked back, the boss will face a direction and do a rotating line AoE. Get to the side of the boss, away from the direction he's rotating with his face, and simply move once he starts rotating. At this point, you've seen the whole fight. He'll just do a face a couple of times between each Wellbore, so let's move on. The final boss is Storage. He has no tank busters, but does auto-attack pretty hard. The room-wide AoE he uses is Intestinal Crank, and later in the fight he likes to do it 3 times back-to-back, so keep an eye out for that one. His 2 major attacks are Breaking Wheel, which is a donut AoE, so stand under the boss, and Heretic's Fork, which fires 4 beams out of each side of a square origin point, that origin point being the boss, most of the time. The boss's main pattern is Crystal Nail plus Censure. When the boss casts Crystal Nail, 4 AoEs will appear and leave behind Rhapsodic Nails that will mimic Storage's next attack. He will then either use Heretic's Fork or Breaking Wheel. After the boss casts Censure, each nail will one by one perform whichever attack he just used. This will always start with the south nail, rotating clockwise, finally ending with the boss performing the attack one more time. For Breaking Wheel, simply stand near each nail and then under the boss at the end. For Heretic's Fork, make sure to stay at the corners of each square. I like to do a small set of steps as seen here to dodge the forks with minimal movement, especially if I am a caster and I need to be casting spells. That's pretty much the whole fight. As long as you can do both censure patterns, the boss is a piece of cake. So with that, thank you for watching my guide to Malikah's Well. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned for more guides coming on Shadowbringers. I'll see all of you in the next one, and until then, take care.